So I had a call from my friendly Toyota dealer the other day who said, "Hey, would you like to have a new car when I can get you one? It'll take a while, but you can have it at today's interest rates if you finance it, as opposed to the interest rates at the time the car is delivered, which are going to be a lot higher." I said, "Yeah, sure, I'm interested. Tell me more." And I began to wonder, why would they want to sell cars and the finance? Because they make more money, frankly, out of the finance than they do from the cars. In the car finance industry, in the car dealership industry, they always say you make more from the money than the metal. So why would they want to give away cheap finance when pretty soon they're going to be able to sell the same cars with much more expensive finance and much more cash flow and profit to them? Now, in our morning discussion, James Mack said it's because they've pre-bought that finance, and maybe he's right. I haven't experienced that amongst finance company dealers before, but I think it's actually because of sections 99 and 100 of the Consumer Credit Act legislation, which provide for voluntary terminations, or VTs as they call them, which mean that if you pay more than 50% um, of the contract price, so let's say you buy a car for £20,000, and with the interest in it, let's just keep it simple. Let's say the total is £25,000 together with interest and all the charges. So as soon as you've paid £12,501 to the finance company, you're entitled to VT, to voluntarily terminate, which means you can just hand the car back and walk away. And I just kind of wondered if dealers and finance companies aren't afraid, given the cost of living crisis, that a lot of people are going to decide they can't afford their cars anymore, and they're going to go hand them back once they've paid 50%. So offering them cheap finance, that is to say, the rates today rather than the rates next week or next month, for a car that gets delivered in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, is good for them because they get a brand new car if they can afford it, and good for the dealer and the finance company because they start all over again. In other words, it's going to be a long time before they've paid 50% of that new contract. I think that might be one of the serious drivers, because I think all lenders are expecting some real affordability problems and increased arrears and default cases. So it's a very clever way to try to combat that. So if you have a car on finance, not bank finance, not finance for your bank, but if you have a car on finance that you got from your car dealer, hire purchase, conditional sale, or PCP, personal contract purchase, whatever form it takes. If they haven't called you, call them up and say, "Listen, if you'll give me a really great price, low interest, great discount on the car, all the options I want, leather and heated steering wheels and all the rest, if you can get me a great deal, even if you can't deliver it for 10 months, I'll switch from my current car and current finance contract to my new one." Now, some companies, some dealers may say not interested, but others who are thinking that they may have a wave of people handing their cars back may bite your hand off. And on the other hand, if you're one of those people who is squeezed and worried about your car payments, just bear in mind that um, if you have paid more than 50%, you can just hand the car back to the dealer and walk away, and you don't have to pay anymore. Bear in mind, though, that dealers don't like this. You won't be welcomed back in the car sales industry, as everybody's best friend. And of course, if your car, and they're going to be scrupulous in looking at it, is not in a great condition and there's any damage, they're going to make you pay for that before they take the car back from you. And they will give you a quote to fix it all up, themselves, but shop around, because some other body shop will do the work for you cheaper for sure than some large franchise dealer. But there's just several ideas for you of what's going on at the moment as one of the results of the cost of living crisis, every cloud has a silver lining, and you might get a shiny new car at a really cheap price, while everyone else, when it's finally delivered, is paying a whole lot more.